wasn't really expecting to make this video. I was working on some other mock draft stuff, watching some prospects, but news broke and I feel like I got to talk about it. So let's talk about it. Earlier today, multiple sources confirmed that the Cowboys will interview former offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer for their vacant head coaching position. And I made a video about this yesterday that people were talking about the possibility that the Cowboys could interview him. He moved to the top of certain sites boards as the favorite to be the Cowboys' next head coach. And in that video, when I was talking about it, I said that I wouldn't get mad, that I would not go crazy because they hadn't interviewed him yet. It didn't seem serious enough to completely freak out. So now it feels completely reasonable to freak out. What are we doing? This is the most unserious hiring interview I've ever seen from an NFL organization. Brian Schottenheimer has, in my understanding, never had a head coaching interview. And if he has, then it was a decade ago. This completely blows my mind. Not one single team in the NFL has even considered, thought about, any real GM would have never put Brian Schottenheimer on their interview list. It's a complete and utter joke that this is even happening. This is not a real head coaching search. This is a, who are we friends with? Who can we boss around? Like, what are we doing? What is the Cowboys front office anymore? There's no integrity. No one cares about winning. Mike McCarthy because he wasn't getting the job done, and you interview Brian Schottenheimer because you want to win games? Don't give me that bullshit about winning games. And I tweeted this out earlier, and it just puts into perspective where we are with this organization. I said, CBS listed its top 15 coaching candidates heading into Black Monday. Here's who the Dallas Cowboys have chosen to interview so far from that list. Ben Johnson? No. Mike Vrabel? No. Brian Flores? No. Aaron Glenn? No. And I'm just going to show you the rest of the list because you kind of get the idea. They didn't interview any of the top 9 or the last 6. They didn't interview a single one of those people. That is not what a serious organization does. You had the chance to interview Ben Johnson before he took the Bears job. You didn't. You have a chance, as of recording this video, to call Aaron Glenn, tell him that you want to interview him. They haven't. Mike Vrabel, you hadn't decided what you were going to do with Mike McCarthy, or you just didn't let the rest of the league know that you had. And he took a job with the Patriots. Even if that wasn't a possibility, you never gave yourself a chance for it to be a possibility. Joe Brady, that's not happening because he's a young play caller and ahead of the curve, and the Jerry Jones and company, they don't know him, so that's not happening. Cliff Kingsbury, no. It's just absurd that the Cowboys haven't spoken to any of the top candidates. None. That's not a serious coaching search. That's not a team that wants to win games. Interviewing Brian Schottenheimer, the guy that could likely be out of the league if Mike McCarthy doesn't get a head coaching job and he doesn't bring him on staff and make him the offensive coordinator, quarterbacks coach, analyst, whatever. That's the only reason that Schottenheimer is even on the Cowboys staff, or was with Mike McCarthy, because Mike knew his dad from back in the day. Schottenheimer hasn't called plays in 10 years, so I don't really understand how there's any interest there. Football season might be winding down, but that doesn't mean the action has to stop. BetUS has you covered with everything from NBA, NHL to college hoops, UFC, and even soccer. So if you've got a feel for the game, why not put it to the test? There's always something to bet on, and the possibilities are endless. And here's the best part. When you sign up, BetUS hooks you guys up with a 150% deposit bonus on your first deposit, and then keeps the momentum going with 125% bonuses on your next 2. That's a serious boost to keep the action rolling no matter the season. Whether it's the thrill of a buzzer beater, a last second goal, or a knockout punch, BetUS makes every game feel like the biggest of the year. Why let the fun stop with football? Sign up today, snag those bonuses, and keep the momentum going all year long. Thank you to BetUS for sponsoring today's video, and please remember to bet responsibly. Now, maybe this is my optimism talking because I really don't want to see Schottenheimer be the head coach of the Cowboys, but my big brain theory, all right, thinking outside the box, Jerry Jones is posturing a little bit for the fans and for Kellen Moore. As for posturing for the fans, a lot of people don't like Kellen. I posted on my Instagram asking, would you be mad if Dallas hired Kellen Moore? And the overwhelming majority was yes, they will be mad. I think it was like 89 to 11. 89% said they would be pretty pissed if Dallas hired Kellen Moore. So by interviewing Schottenheimer, they pretty much threw a worse option at us and said, you know, we could hire this guy. I know no one else in the league wants him, but we could hire him as our head coach. We have interest. He could be a good head coach. Like, dude. So that's for posturing for the fans. As for Kellen Moore, Dallas can pretty much look at him and do the same thing. Oh, you don't want to come to Dallas? Oh, you want to make more money? Look, we don't need to hire Kellen. We don't need to hire you. And then that way, Kellen signs a deal for less money. Now he's the head coach. He gets his first head coaching job back in Dallas, where it all started. And as for the fans, we're like, thank goodness they didn't hire Brian Schottenheimer. Pretty much giving us two choices that we don't want, but hoping and praying that we get the lesser of two terribles. That's my big brain theory on how this is working right now. Hopefully it's a complete smokescreen for fans, for Kellen, because at this point I would take Kellen Moore 10 times out of 10, 100 out of 100, 1,000 out of 1,000 over Brian Schottenheimer. And that's the point that we've gotten to. We started at wanting Ben Johnson, and we've moved all the way down to praying that they hired Kellen Moore. Now, really a big brain theory, I'm not going to lie. And it seems completely reasonable that this is a mind game for all of us. But once again, that could just be my optimism peeking through, and they really do want to hire that guy. I feel like I've said his name so many times, I don't want to say it anymore. I've said his name more in the past 2 days than I have in my entire life. Nothing's changing until Jerry Jones changes. Until the Cowboys get a real GM and the Joneses step down from football operations, nothing's going to change. He is 100% the problem. So it doesn't matter who they hire. Nothing's changing because Jerry's going to do it his way. Somehow he's the head coach, he's the GM, he's the owner, and it sucks. You might have good teams. You might have a good draft because Jerry does seem to listen to other people when it comes to that. But right now, you have no chance. You're lacking in 2 of 3 categories that really mean something to winning a Super Bowl. Having a head coach, a good head coach, and having a good GM. So that's where we are. I didn't freak out yesterday. Brian Schottenheimer hadn't been hired or interviewed yet, but he has now, so I feel like I can make this video. This is not serious. This team is not serious. This organization is not serious, and I will probably have a complete meltdown if Schottenheimer is the hire, because you don't win 7 games. But I do really appreciate you guys for watching the videos, subscribing, enjoying the content. I promise one day it will get better, and that's why I just, at this point, decided to do mock drafts, because I feel like I just get on here and complain about what Dallas is doing all the time. At least with the mock drafts, Jerry can't take those from us. Like I said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Subscribe if you want Jerry Jones to step down as GM. I love you all, and I'll see you next time.